What's up, guys, and welcome to a brand new series I'm going to be bringing to you on the channel. I'm super excited about this one. This is going to be my realistic career mode on FIFA 22 with Athletic Bilbao. Yes, that's right, we're going to be running a realistic career mode with Bilbao, who play in Spain's top division, La Liga, where the premise behind it is that everything we do in this save will be as realistic as possible. Spoiler alert, you're going to be hearing me saying the word realistic quite a lot in this save. So when I say realistic, I'm talking the rate of progress in terms of time. So in Bilbao's case, they shouldn't be competing for the Liga titles straight away. They should be aiming for like a top 6, top 7 spot and European football. So maybe in a couple of years, once we build the team up, then we can compete for titles. Also, the realism in transfers, and this one is a key reason why I chose Athletic Bilbao. Now, some of you may be aware of this. Some of you may be in the same boat as me. I had no clue. But Bilbao actually have an unwritten rule where they only sign Basque players. So Basque is an area covering some of North Spain, featuring teams such as Real and Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Real Sociedad, Espanyol, Sporting Gijón, Celta Vigo, Valencia, and of course Athletic Bilbao, as well as a few teams just over the border in the south of France. So what I'm going to be doing with this save is only signing Spanish players who play for those Basque clubs or have previously played for Athletic Bilbao. I'll also be keeping the sales of players realistic too, so I'll only accept an offer if I think the destination is a realistic location for my player. But also, for example, if a bigger club is coming in for one of my players, on a normal career mode, I would just straight up reject it as I don't want to sell my best players. But if it's, if it's realistic, if it's like a top team, a top tier club coming in for one of my players, if I can see it happening, I will let it happen as I want this career mode, you guessed it, to be realistic. Now, before I go any further, I must give props to Docs on YouTube, who I saw run this type of career mode first. He's a great guy and brings out great FIFA content, so go check out his channel and show it some love. I'll leave his link in the description below. Now, as you would assume, we went through the board's objectives for me coming up for this season, and of course, Bilbao being a club that brings up homegrown talent so much, the youth um, the youth progress was critical. They want me to bring through 3 players under the age of 20 who have who are expected to be better than players in those positions already. They also want me to sell 3 players, and they want me to finish in the top 4. They want me to get a Champions League spot in the first season. A challenge for sure, but one I'm willing to accept. Uh, as we run through, as you see us, we run through the team as well. They run an old school 4-4-2 now. You don't really see that much these days, but Inaki Williams and Raul Garcia up top, the 2 Athletic Bilbao icons, really. They've been there for a long time now. Inaki Williams has that incredible record. I think it's like a few hundred games he's played in a row. He hasn't missed or anything like that, which is crazy. But yeah, classic 4-4-2. We've also got Inaki Williams' brother Nico Williams, who will be playing on the wing. Only 69 rated, but I definitely want to build him up. I feel like he's definitely going to be a key player for us. As we see, the board talk to us about this youngster Federico Otero, who has come through the youth squad. Obviously, we've just had to clear out the youth squad because we can only have Spanish players in there. But this Otero player, centre mid, 16 years old, 5-star, 5-star, high medium work rates. He looks like an absolute baller. I'm actually going to train him up to be a central midfield player. I want him to be basically an all-rounder. But the club will basically saying that he's our prized possession in the youth academy. He's a Bilbao fan from heart. So what we're going to do is we're going to train him up. We're going to bring him in. As you can see, we've already rejected a couple of offers for our players. Berenguer, our left mid. Also, Nenes and Yerai are 2 centre backs. So clubs coming in for our players early. I didn't feel like those locations were, that realistic for my players. But like I said, this will be about realism. That is the aim of the game in this series. So I basically want this save to be as realistic as possible. I'm only going to accept offers for players that I think is realistic. I'm only going to sign, like I said, Spanish or Basque players from the clubs I listed before, or ex-Athletic Bilbao players. Now, I think in the first season, my aim, obviously the club wanted me to get top 4. I'm going to be aiming for European football. I believe in Spain, obviously in the game, it only counts the top 5 as European football, the top 4 getting Champions League and 5th place getting Europa League. But I believe it's the same as the English League, where It's the top four get Champions League, fifth is Europa League, sixth is Europa qualification, and then seventh might be Europa Conference League. I believe that those are the rules in Spain. So a top seven finish will get us European football. That is my aim primarily. I think Champions League football could be a bit of a stretch, but you never know. We will give it a go as we go through the squad here. We list a few players. I'm not really looking to sell many players, I'll be honest. I might sell a couple here and there, a couple of depth players, but overall, I think the squad needs maybe one or two sign-ins just to have a bit of bench depth. But I'm not going to be making too many changes. I like the team. Raul Garcia and Inaki Williams up top, I think will be our key boys here. As we see, Raul Garcia actually only has a year left on his contract, so going to offer our striker an extra year. I know he is 35, but his experience is key. I want to try and bring him in for an extra year and have him at the club. You also would have seen as well, we weren't given much of a budget, about around 22 million, which nowadays is not much to play for at all. So maybe if I want to bring in any players, I'm going to have to sell first, and that of course was one of the board's goals. They wanted me to sell three players, so we'll see who we can bring in this window. As we receive an offer here for Villa Libre, our backup striker. We actually have two backup strikers, both low 70 rated, so I wouldn't be against accepting an offer for one of them. This came in from Stade de Rennes, so only over the border to France. They came in for about 6 million. I did reject it, however. I felt like he was probably the better of the two backup strikers, so I was definitely keen to keep him. As you can see, we sit down with Real Madrid's Carlo Ancelotti as we bid to bring in our first signing of the summer, and it is the Spanish centre mid Dani Ceballos. Only 24 years old, although it feels like he's been around for a long time. 77 overall, but I feel like he's getting sporadic game time. And Real Madrid obviously had loan spells as well, so I thought, you know what, I reckon we can spring up a deal with Carlo, bring in Danny, offer him regular first team football, and be part of this project we got going at Athletic. And luckily, Carlo was actually pretty happy to accept the deal for relatively cheap in this market. So we offered him. He was on quite high wages. We offered him 90,000 a week, which I thought it was realistic to offer him more than he currently is on. And we wanted to give him a 4-year deal. Like I said, 24, he's still young. I think he can really be a key part of this Bilbao project that we got going on. Was very, very happy to get this deal done. Our first signing of the save, Dani Ceballos from Real Madrid, number 25, as you can see there. He will go straight into our starting lineup. He is only 77, but I think that he can be a big part of this team. Like a real all-rounder in the midfield. As you can see, David Brooks went from Bournemouth to Barcelona. Not really realistic, that one. I can't really see that happening, I'll be honest. But anyway, fair play to him. As we receive a bid here for our winger Nico Serrano from Torino. Didn't want to accept this one. I quite like Serrano. I want to build him up as a young winger. So we rejected that offer as we have another couple of deals here. Bernard Prados from Montpellier. Montpellier wanted to take him on a 2-year loan deal with an option to buy. I was happy to send him out on loan, but I didn't want to back the option to buy. I didn't want to back the option to buy deal in case I wanted to keep him at the club. So I said, look, take him out on 2-year loan deal, but we want to bring him back at the end of those 2 years. And the Montpellier representative was basically like, no thanks. So that was the end of that. Benfica also came in for a right back on the Kappa. He is our starting right back, so I went and rejected this. I thought Benfica as well. Maybe a bit of a downgrade going to the Portuguese league. So as we see here, the conversation with Federico Otero, our youth player, we've just promoted him to the senior squad straight away, and he's come and said, it's been a dream. This is a dream come true. I've been a Bilbao fan since I was a little boy. I've always wanted to play for Bilbao. Well, Federico, your dreams will come true. You got massive promise, my man. And I can imagine you getting good game time towards the back end of the season. So we had another loan offer here, loan with an option to buy for Celero, our centre back. Again, I was happy to do this. Actually, I couldn't see Celero getting much game time, so I was happy to allow him to go. It was to Turkey, but I thought, you know what, bit of Turkish football, that is fine. The AI is a bit stingy when it comes to splitting the wages. I really tried to haggle this down to 50-50 and they were not having it. So I was like, all right, you know what? We'll pay 60% of the fees. So, like I mentioned before, our two backup strikers weren't the highest of ratings. So I thought, you know what? A key target after signing Danny Ceballos in the centre mid will be to bring in a backup striker. And I identified this man, Santi Mina, Celta Vigo's Spanish striker, as a perfect target. I went in with a low ball, basically an £11 million offer, and they came back to me and said, "Nah, we want 18.5 million." And I just thought, okay, right, well that's most of my budget, if not all of it. So I cannot accept that. How about we give you 11.5 million? And then I thought, you know what? He's going to be replacing one of my backup strikers, so I will offer them one of those backup strikers in Sanse, who is worth apparently 6 million. And you know what? He went for it. He liked that offer. So boom, there you go. We got rid of one of our backup strikers, and in doing so, completed a third of our challenge from the board to sell 3 players. And we bring in Santi Mina, who was happy to be a rotation player, actually, as you can see in the contract negotiations. So was happy for him to be a rotation player, offered him a 3-year contract. They wanted a release clause. They were adamant on this. So I thought, you know what, 35 million, I'll accept that. That's, almost like triple what I paid. So if a club came in and activated his release clause, we'd make a good profit on him. So was very happy to do that. A hefty signing on bonus, I'll be honest, but we accepted it. Santi Mina becomes the second signing of this Bilbao project. And like I said, I didn't want to bring in too many players. I didn't want to change the ethos of the team too much. I wanted to keep the same formation, the same base players, but just bring in a couple of rotation players. Very happy with the signing of Santi Mina. He will sit on the bench. As you see here, Solero has been loaned out to the Turkish league. And Vesca, our centre mid, coming in and saying that he hopes he starts the first game against Elche. And in my head, I was like, look, Vesca, I've almost sold you, so you should be happy that you're just still here, mate. We went big in terms of our youth scouts. We paid a lot of money. We went for those five-star scouts because Bilbao's ethos is bring in good young players. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to find the best Spanish and French players out there. Obviously, I won't really sign many French players, obviously, because I know that the Basque rule is only like a few clubs in the south of France, and obviously you can't really tell on the game whether they're based in the south or not. But I will be predominantly signing Spanish players. I can't really see myself signing any French players. As we look at our calendar for August, our opening games of the season, we have Elche away on Monday Night Football, actually. So I think we're the last game of the match day, which is quite cool, under the lights. And then our first game at home, the first game at the Sant Memes Stadium, the beautiful Sant Memes Stadium, which is in the game as well. I absolutely love that. Can't wait for you guys to see the stadium. Is Barcelona at home. What a tough one that's going to be. And then we go to Celta Vigo away to round off the month. So that will be it for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you like this concept, if there's any players that you think I should sign, and I will see you in the next episode where we will continue the transfer window. We'll play the first games of the season. So big love, guys. Make sure you drop the like on the video, and I'll catch you later.